how there's so many challenges besiege agriculture right now, largely because of insecurity. And my first question to you will be, I know you've heard about so many instances where farmers will get killed on their farms. And there was even a story that came up lately about a woman who went to a farm and she was not just raped, but she was murdered in her farm. So my first question would be, how do you think, in light of all these challenges that is really besieging food production, especially agriculture, how do you think it can still be made attractive? Do you think it can still be made attractive for entrepreneurs?
Okay, thank you so much for having me on the show.
It's nice to have you.
I just want to let you know, and everyone out there listening to me, that every sector has its own challenges. There's nothing in this life, as far as you're existing or that you're working so hard to make legit money, that there's nothing that is not challenging. Because the challenges does not mean we're going to fold our hands and just sit and wait till the harm itself comes close to us. So we just have to choose our heart or our own challenges or what situation we want to be in. Okay, take for example the killings going on the farms.
Yes.
And all the challenges that the farmers go through currently. It's not what we can control per se because it's not what we planned for. It's not what we expected. It's not what we want either, and it's really making things so difficult. But regardless of the difficulty, we can only take precautionary measures to still be safe out there and to encourage other people or the younger ones to come into farming. Farming generally or agriculture generally is what some people believe that it's a hard life that they don't want to go into, that it's just for the people in the rural community, that it's just for people who are aged and all. So a lot of people don't really want to go into farming. But it depends on the mindset you even bring on board. Like everything starts from the mind. Take for example, you're on the farm or you just want to start farming and you hear all these challenges of if you start there are a lot of killings going on, there are a lot of things going on the farm, and because of that you don't want to do that or you don't want to go into farming at all. It, I don't think some challenges can like stop completely because even before the killing, there were logistics issues. Before killing started or before the planning started coming into farm, farmers had challenges of bringing their goods or items from the farm down to the city or even getting buyers. So those are some of the challenges that have been in existence. The pest issues, the challenge on its own, the issues with manures or fertilizer, it's all a challenge on its own. So the challenges just keep coming in different phases. How you manage it, how you deal with it, and the mindset that you come on board with will help you progress and makes it more suiting for you. Then it also matters that the passion you carry into it, not that you are forced to do it, but you really want to do it is what you like doing. Because if you just think about all the challenges alone, you don't even want to go near it. People who work in the bank, they have their own challenges. People who work in the oil sector, they have their own challenges. Everything in the spheres of life have its own challenges. So it depends on your mindset and the passion you have for what you're doing.
Yes. So you're saying a positive mindset is very important as an entrepreneur want to get into agriculture. Having a positive mindset is key at first if you want to venture into this field. Now, yes, it is. You're right. A positive mindset is very, very important. But across all, like I said, across all sectors, there are different challenges, definitely, and that is also very, very true. So, in light of all these challenges that besiege agriculture in Nigeria, there's storage issues, infrastructures that need to be put in place. You talk about manure, fertilizer. There's just so many erratic power supply. There's just so many issues. So, how do we now begin to make agriculture attractive to entrepreneurs that want to get into it?
Okay. for people who want to get into agriculture, first of all, I would tell you to understudy somebody. Because if you just run into it, it might be difficult coping with a lot of challenges that you don't even foresee. There's some challenges that you don't even see at all till you start the journey. So first of all, some of the ways you can make it attractive for people who want to join farming is that they need to understand what they are going into. If you're not prepared, you'll be shattered with all the things you will eventually face. Such a storage issue that you said, logistics is a major issue. Those are bad. For you to bring from the farm down to the city is a whole lot of stress. So if you're going into agriculture, you need to first of all understand what you're doing. Have a basic knowledge. Don't just run into it like, oh, they said this is where money is now. Let me pump money into it. You will miss it. So when you have an understanding, it will be easier for you to manage the casualties that will come at the end of the day. That is number one. Number two, yes, for you to be attractive, you're going to pay things like the attractiveness of okay, agriculture, is for you to um, get opportunities of grants. When there's funding, it's easy for you to like explore agriculture. So when you can access maybe grants or you have a funding, good source of funding for your business, especially in agriculture, such things like logistics will not be a challenge or an issue to you. You will easily be able to say, okay, you have a truck that will get all this from the farm down to the city, and it's going to be cheaper and it's going to be easier. So you won't be stressed because like
Now, I have a question about that. Sorry to interrupt you.
all right.
I want to have a question about that. Now, you're talking about funding and accessing grants. Is that readily available for entrepreneurs that want to get into farming? Is it readily available? Do we have enough that for those who are trying to get into agriculture, for example?
Okay, I think to some extent the government is trying. To some extent the government is trying. It's just people, you need to understand that the government wants to see you documents that you are actually into the agriculture.
Mm.
Not that you just want to get the funding and maybe travel out or do other things for the money. They actually want to see the passion, they actually want to see that yes, this person is in this line. So you need to start.
Okay.
Just like an adage that says that before someone will help you, lift your first leg first. So before the government will come on board and say we want to disperse free money to farmers and all, what have you done for yourself? I think that is one thing the government wants to see before yes, because so like, to some extent, I think funding is available for farmers to some extent. Assessing it is another thing.
Does it take a lot of because they call it a red tape, so you have to go through a lot of red tapes or a lot of you have to, is it
Yes,
about who you know really, or
yes, you have
do
to
you really
go
get it on
through.
merit?
I think some you get some merit,
Yes.
yes, some you get some merit. Some it's not always 100% the time. So there's some corners, yes, there's some it's some merit, some not. Let me
Okay.
just say that.
Okay.
So by the time you do a lot of documentation and all, you just get exhausted and wait.
Mm.
It's a whole lot.
So can you just tell us more ways that attractive agriculture can be made attractive to entrepreneurs? Any other ways we can think of?
Okay, so one way I would say that agriculture can be maybe through the indulging it, like adding it to curriculums in school. Because first of all, adding it to curriculums in school gives people basic understanding,
Mm.
like of what they are going into and the opportunities in farming. Yes, they teach us a lot of agricultural practical theoretical part in school. But where is the practical? We just learn the types of soil and all of those things in school, understanding the basics. But do we really learn the integrity of agriculture? So if we understand it, it won't go into extinction, because there's a lot of farming that is actually running away, and people just consume a lot of processed food and just wait for a lot of packaged food items. The real agricultural part, the real basics are really like going into extinction. So people need to, if we can go back to the classroom or to the drawing board, even social media campaigns or challenge on social media that will encourage agricultural processes, where the youth can come on board and run on challenges, on challenge like all those 3.0 challenge or farming or something, to actually make things interesting, and people will look forward into it that, oh, if this person can be doing this is going to be fun. Can I try it out? Yes, a lot of social media is in use these days, but how can we also use the social media to get attention of people into farming, into agriculture? So I think on that way, a lot of youth can also be excited to look forward to it, and not just the mindset of, oh, agriculture is for the rural people or people in the rural settlement or people who are aged. That mindset can be corrected, even if it's going to be using of social media to make it attractive and to educate people more. Because first of all, we need to change the mindset of the youth to make it attractive again.
Thank you very much for your response. Now, I still on that point of insecurity. That is just one thing that just really stands out, and that is really a big issue that a lot of entrepreneurs, especially when it comes to agriculture farmers, are really contending with right now. The issue of insecurity is a big thing, and I think that has really discouraged a lot of entrepreneurs from venturing into agriculture. It's a really big issue. So how do you think the government can come in to ensure that enough security measures to put in place for those that want to get into agriculture? How do you think that can be done?
Okay, the security issue is a major one. Like, it's a big topic. If we start the security challenges with farming in Nigeria today, like, we're not finishing till the end of this program, because it's an extensive topic.
Yes.
A lot of things are happening in Nigeria that is just beyond like us even highlighting on radio. It's it's beyond just the beyond us as individuals.
Yes.
The government coming in, the political parties and everything involved, and the lives of people and the farmers are the price to pay. Going to the farm has become a thing of fear, and it's really increasing or costing more to what people buy like as foodstuff on the in the market today. Like, as of now, tomatoes should be cheaper than what it is in the market.
Yes.
But because a lot of people can't even go to the farm as it should be, it's costing us in that area. Same with raw materials for people who want to produce for production purposes. The challenge is the government coming on board to assist, like talking to headsmen to have their own boundary. This is where you should go. Don't go into this. Don't go into that. Don't go into this person's farm. It's what they've been going back and forth for on. So a lot of people these days, what they do is that they bring their farming home. Maybe they have space behind their house. They can just have like a small garden for the purpose of their own personal consumption and probably that of their family. Or they even fence it around, which is costing more just to feel safe.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have a plot of land, people just have to like, okay, let's fence it. Let's have it fenced so we can feel a little bit secured. Which should not be. It's even having more to the cost, but that is what the situation is warranting currently.
Now, if yes,
okay,
go ahead. Now, if a couple of entrepreneurs, and I actually seen a couple of that. I came across the story of this in her backyard. I've even come across another story of another woman that actually grows the ugu vegetable. She grows it in sacks, and she's doing.
Because of that, when you have like maybe 5 workers on the farm, you're going to buy guns for all of them to go secure on the farm.
Yes. So talk about your own experience being a focused on. I believe you are focused on agriculture.
The experience has been amazing. I won't even just put the fact that as a young lady who is into farming, it has been amazing. But when people see you at first, they be like, "Oh, who is she? Why would she choose farming over any other thing?" But hey, it's profitable.
Mm.
It's enjoyable.
Mm.
But yes,
Wow.
and it
Okay.
came to when I came to Lagos, I realized that some of these things they are selling, it's not this expensive now. Life is not this hard in my village. Where must things
Mm.
be like this?
Mm.
So yes, I had to get a small portion of land. Started small. I started with skills. I started small, and yes, it has grown beyond my own imagination,
Okay.
like even beyond what I ever thought it could be.
Okay.
So yeah, it has been amazing.
So you started with nails, and then from there you
Yes.
moved on to what?
Okay, from snails now I'm into planting
Wow.
production
Wow.
and packaging.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
So you're actually growing the plantains, and then you package it into what? Into maybe like into maybe
plantain you're consuming, whether you want it boiled, grilled, fried, swallow, baking, whatever it is. Even the leaf is
mm,
being used is sold to people who sell
from
ofada rice.
okay.
Yes, ofada rice,
I think
one.
is it from mine too? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So whatever stage you want your plantain, I generate profit from it.
Hmm.
So I basically I major in the plantain production for swallow. That's the flour.
Okay.
So for the plantain chips, I sell it to people, off takers who want to buy for the chips, who wants to buy for barley and coal, I sell it off to them. But for the plantain, which is for turning it into powder for baking and export purpose, that is my own major. That is one of the things became food store.
Okay. Now, are you still wearing snails, or you're done with that?
No, no, it's by the side.
Okay. Okay. So, but you're majorly focused on planting now.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's very good. So what would you be your advice to young people like you, especially ladies who want to start farming or get into agriculture? What would be your advice to them?
I would tell them that I you choose the crop, whether plant, whatever, just understand, have a basic idea of what you're going into so that you won't be frustrated along the way. It's worth it. It's
Hmm.
definitely worth it.
Now, for those that say that they don't have the farmland available, they don't have the money to start, what would you say? Because I know it's of course if you don't have if you didn't inherit maybe like a piece of land from your family or something, securing a piece of land for farming might not be cheap. So what would you have to? So what would you
Yeah.
tell them? What would your advice be for young people that want to get into farming? They don't have the money even to secure a piece of land.
All right. All right. My basic idea for them is that they should partner. Partnership is key. All you need to do is look for a partnership that works. Like here, you understand one person, or you have a family friend, or you have an uncle and auntie that own a piece of land, or you're even into farming already. Just tell the person, okay, if I bring this percentage, or if I bring laborers to work for you, what do I get in return? Have it documented and share the risk. Don't be the only one going into it and wanting to get all the on the partner with someone. You would even be able to learn more, as in learn more on the business through the person. You're able to understand some basics. So with that, when you're fully grown or you've generated profits enough, you can stand on your own and manage it well.
Mm,
So partnership is key. I
mm,
believe in partnership. It's part of the SDG Goal 17,
yes,
partnership. So
partnership.
go ahead and partner with somebody.
Okay. Now, are there associations available for people that are into farming, maybe like young people, where they can learn or get mentorship and get different kinds of resources that can help them if they're just starting out in agriculture?
Yeah,
Yes.
a
Okay.
lot of academies, academy out there, a lot of entrepreneurship programs, how to meet buyers, a lot of it are out there, like for young people. That you can explore Faith Foundation, Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, Academy for Young Farmers. A lot of them are out there that you can just apply for, and you'll be amazed by what you will learn, and even meeting new people, networking. That when you network with them, oh, I have the contact of this supermarket, I have this printer, I have this. Oh, how did you do this? To make your journey even faster, because you're meeting with people who are already experienced, who have worked on the path. So they can easily share contacts with you, like, oh, you do this, oh, I do this as well, I once did it, let me share with you. So and there's a lot of academy out there
Okay.
for young people.
And how do they find these academies? How do they find them? Is it online, or how do they get to finding them out?
Okay, so just like you asked me earlier, making agriculture attractive to young people.
Yes.
I believe what you follow or what you go after on social media also matters a lot. So if you're even interested in agriculture or you want to go into the line of farming as a young person, I believe you should be following hashtags of agriculture or following people who are in that line. So, take for example, you're following Faith Foundation.
Okay.
You can follow back people who are following Faith Foundation. You can follow back like the other followers and the people you just likes as likes, the hashtags, and you just keep seeing them, join their email list. By the time you know it, when an opportunity or grant opportunity, when the next report is opening, you're already aware through the email list, you're already aware through their Instagram page, Twitter, LinkedIn, all those social media platforms. A lot of them are out there. Information is there, depends on what you're looking for.
So you have to actually, if you're really passionate about this field, you really have to seek for it and be proactive, and not just sit down. You have to really, really be aggressive to find out about all this information that is available. All right, thank you very much. Yes, my special guest is Joy, and she is the founder of Beacon Foods, and we're talking about how to make our culture attractive to entrepreneurs. You're listening to SME MART on WFM 91.7, your radio business hub, where we explore business venture. We have 917-917-07,000, 91737. Now, Joe, I'm just curious, being a woman, is it more challenging as a woman that is venturing into our culture? Is it more challenging for a woman getting into our culture? Is it more challenging for a woman than a man? Okay.
Yes, it's okay. Let me give you a scenario. As a lady who is into agriculture, you can't do it all by yourself. You need the right team to come on board to assist you. Such of the team or one of the team members, you might need men, you might need older people as well to come on board. And as a lady, they may look at you like, who is this small girl giving us order? Or who is this small girl talking to us like this? Who the heck are you? All those type of things. You can have challenges with staffing, you can have challenges with manpower of transporting your items to the farm, to the storage, to everything, things like this. It can be challenging in terms of staffing, especially.
So how have you been able to overcome all of these challenges that you came across when you started your cultural journey?
Okay, the place of mentorship cannot be overlooked. This is the duration of time I've planted. This is what I should be expecting by now. This is what I should have seen by now. Why is it not like this? And you tell me, oh, did you do like this? Did you have this? Did you do this? From him, I get advice. So yes, you don't need to study agriculture 100%, but at that you still need to understudy people who are on that path, because agriculture can be so frustrating when they're supposed to be harvesting and they're not harvesting, and they're off takers on your neck telling you when and what you're doing.
Now, when it comes to the issue of climate change, because it's something that we're all experiencing globally. For example, now, so when it comes to climate change, how has it really affected agriculture in Nigeria, and how what are you doing about it? What are you doing to surmount
Okay.
that challenge of climate change?
Okay. Climate change is a big one, like it's a big challenge that is not in our control.
Mm,
When I say it's not within our control, it's because we can't control the sun when it should come out. We can't
yes.
control the rain when it should, or maybe it's raining excessively or not. We can't control all of that. So it's a big challenge, but I know so well that Nigeria is blessed that even when the sun or the rain is excessive, it's still to the favor of some plants.
Mm,
Maybe it might not go round to a particular type or because there's season for tomatoes, there's season for sugarcane, there's a season for granite, and there's a season for mango.
mm,
Every plant has their own season, whether during the rainy season or during the dry season. But regardless, what I do or what some other people do is to have a plan B of irrigation. Yes, it costs a lot to have that in place, but if you really want to go into commercial farming,
mm,
it's one of the things you need to do to have a plan B of the irrigation. Take for example, if you're into snail farming, snails love water a lot. So during rainy season, it's a fantastic period for them to produce excessively. But if there's no rain, it limits their production rate, and
mm.
even snails are more expensive during that period. So if you don't have a plan B of an irrigation for due to water your snails or give them enough cool environment, it can be challenging.
Okay.
So irrigation, having an irrigation or a plan B for times and seasons is key as well.
Hmm. Thank you very much. Now, I would like you to talk more about the profitability of our culture because you mentioned earlier, you said you can actually make 100% profit from agriculture. Could you please elaborate on that, please? How
Okay,
lucrative is
all
agriculture
right.
actually? Yes.
Um, let me take for example, if you're into snail production,
Mm,
during rainy season when snails produce excessively, you will find out that even snails are cheaper during rainy season. It's
mm,
because that's their own season, and at that period, you can sell at whatever price
yes.
because they're even producing 100%. Snails can produce 20 eggs and it will survive,
Mm,
and you sell at your own price. Take for example cucumber. If you plant cucumber within 3 months, cucumber is ready for sales.
mm,
And when it's ready for sales, you sell at your own price too. And all these things for you to even plant them or to cultivate them, it's minimal. Like the cost of production is minimal. It's the maintenance that okay, you need to maintain snail to get to this stage before it being sold. But when you maintain them at a very low cost, you can sell 100% even to the exporting level.
mm.
Okay, take for example a snail or a plantain.
Okay.
From plantain, I can generate revenue from the leaf down to the powder.
Mm,
I can generate revenue from the plantain, the red plantain itself. I can generate revenue for exporting. At every stage, there is no waste. No part of it, even snail. The snail part again, if I use the shell of a snail, I can turn it into calcium. I'm still generating revenue. If I don't turn it into calcium, I can use the shell of the snail as an artwork. I'm
mm.
still generating revenue, selling it to schools for paintings and all. So
Wow.
every
Mm,
single part of it will give you the maximum profit
mm.
as far as you can maintain it well. And all of those things, most times, they are low cost production. Like the costing for it is minimal. It's when you now want to turn it into a finished item that you even spend more. But from the farm and the laborers and those who will work on the farm, you're spending little. It's nothing compared to the what you're selling at the end of the day and getting the profit back. I don't know if you understand. I don't
Yes,
know if I'm
yes,
explaining
yes,
so well.
definitely. You've really explained well. That's amazing. So you can actually get calcium from a snail shell.
Yes,
That's
yes.
interesting.
The snail shell can be produced into powder and we use the snail shells that is used for other products. For other products, even some animal feeds on the snail shell.
Hmm.
They
That's
put it into food for production again. So it's like a recycling process.
that is very interesting. Very, very interesting to note.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, could you please share maybe your social media handles for your business? Are you on social media? If people want to patronize you, how do they get to you? Could you please share
All
that
right.
information,
So
please?
if you want to follow us on Instagram, it's at beacon underscore foods. That's BKEM underscore FOODS.
Okay.
Beacon foods.
Okay.
And if you want to go to our website to order for any of the products at all, it's at www.beaconfoods.com.
Okay. And can people buy wholesale from you? Wholesale, retail,
Yes, we
both.
do wholesale, we do retail, we do bulk purchase, and we're available for exporting of our products.
Wow. So you're really,
So
really
beyond
on
the
a
shores
large
of
scale.
Nigeria,
Wow.
beyond
Okay.
the shores of Nigeria, we are promoting African brands.
Mm. That is great. That is great to note. Just one more thing before I let you go, because I want to squeeze as much information as I can from you before you go, because we're really learning a lot from you this morning. Thank you so much for your time. If you're going to recommend one crop for someone that wants to start out in agriculture, a crop that would really really yield lots of profit, what would that one crop be?
Okay, I even have more than one,
Okay.
like more than one.
Mm.
The Nigerian youth can go into and generate profit, and it's less stressful.
Okay.
There's ready market
Okay.
because there's another thing to have a product, there's another thing to have ready market,
Mm.
like people who are willing to take from you.
Yes.
So such as cucumber, it's a good market. Like a lot of people consume cucumber, and the duration for farming
Mm.
is as minimum as 3 months.
Okay.
Like 3 months, your cucumber is ready for sales. Yeah, granite is also a very fantastic product
Mm.
that people can go into. Snail is a fantastic one
Mm.
if people can do the stress, especially during dry season. Because if I'm taking my snail class, I used to tell them that whatever you want to do regarding snail, ensure you have good source of water. Like water is key for snail farming.
Mm.
So if you can go through the stress, please, snail farming is a fantastic business.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think there's three major ones for now: snail, cucumber, and granite.
Wow, thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure having you on SME Mart this morning. SME Mart this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
And we do wish you all the best with your business.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And to have a lovely day. Thank you. All right, that has been Joy Oluwakenebedaki, the founder of Beacon Foods and SME Mart on WFM 91.7. We've been listening to SME Mart on WFM 91.7, Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families. SME Mart is your radio business hub where we explore business ventures in Nigeria. Today we talked about making agriculture attractive for entrepreneurs, making agriculture attractive for entrepreneurs. One key theme that Joy said was that agriculture is still very, very lucrative and is still very, very profitable. Although there are so many challenges that has besieged and is still besieging agriculture in Nigeria, if you keep a positive mindset and hopefully if the government puts in some needed infrastructures in place, most especially when it comes to security, agriculture can really, really be a business venture that would really yield you lots and lots and lots of profit. Well, thank you so much for being on the program with me this morning. My name is Tini Tokwe. Oduleye. Another episode of SME MART to come up next week, Monday, from 11 to 12 noon. Thanks so much for listening. Do have a wonderful day.
To sponsor this program, call the number 0816 480 7693.
Okay, what do I edit? Okay, just for